Morning, Kevin. Yeah, not bad. Thanks. Not bad. Well, exactly. Action-packed wasn't bad. Morning, Funny. Yeah. So I'm not big on football. I'm keeping an eye on it because it's a World Cup. I mean, it's a World Cup in anything, you keep an eye on it, sort of thing. And it's such a big deal. So I'm tend to sort of supporting the underdogs now. I'd like to see Morocco or Croatia win it. Yeah, it'll revolutionise, especially in Morocco. I tell you, if they win that World Cup, those guys will be bloody saints in their country, I tell you, or equivalent in a Muslim country. I mean, it's great to watch them, in Rabat and Casablanca and the intangibles and these sort of guys going berserk on the street. Because I've been there, so not exactly a rich country, so it's quite a pleasant relief for them to be doing well. Lifts the patriotic spirit, as they say. But I don't know. I don't know more about football than me, but it just seems a bit unfair being knocked out in a penalty shootout. I know it's great for watching the thrills, but I mean, like the Brazil guy hit the bar, and it just like a millimeter, and to sort of lose everything on that seems, I don't know, just seems a bit harsh. Maybe I'm just anyway, whatever. I think actually football talking about the moment might be an idea, actually, to be honest, because I don't think you don't see much action happening at the moment. I'm going to go into that now. Just let these guys in. Okay. Right. Yeah. Well, shit. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. I just want to start off with unfortunately Monday blues. And the Monday blues is, if you looked at the economic calendar, it is rife this week with interest rates. Switzerland, UK, America, and Euro. might be another one thrown in there somewhere, but all coming out this week. And CPI's coming out, and I think people look at the weekly one coming up. It's all GBP today, but it start coming in with interest rate tomorrow, and then Wednesday with the Fed, which is hectic. So yeah, fundies rule. I was hoping to get a little bit better this week, and I check the fundies. I tend to check a week by week, not 2 weeks down the line. And I went through this morning. Here we go. It's been. I tell you right now, guys. It's been a tough couple of weeks. Except for you, Mr. Murray Smith. You've been doing like a bloody genius there, showing us all up. Well done. But it's been tough. It's about the toughest last couple of weeks I've had in a while. And again, it's fundies rule, as you quite say. And as a result of it, people have got scared, and that's why we're getting this lack of follow through. And that's the toughest thing when you're trading. You want it to go in a specific direction, obviously in your direction, clearly, but you want follow through. You want to move. And look, I've got Brent as a prime example. Remember, that was the punt. It wasn't sent out the punt. It did okay. It came off a great bit of jip Friday evening, and then it bounced up again, and it did quite well, but past 77. Thought, hey, we might get this 80, and it came back off again. So yeah, it's look at those candles there. So it's just going it's just not happening. So I do my normal story today, where I go through the various stuff, not some of the shares, I'll look at that later on, but the Forex and the commodities and the indices, and it just seems to be drifting. I couldn't really find a trade. The only one I looked at a possibility, but didn't exactly blow my hair back, was Euro AUD, which you maybe have a look at later on, but you can't say it's blowing my hair back. And don't be rude, I haven't got much hair, but anyway. But yeah, so Brent drifting along. So it's about 10 cents down, but it might jump up again. We'll see. But at least it was up a little bit earlier on. We had a gold trade out. Again, it's drifting, but it's slightly in profit, which is good. I think we got in at 9. Just a second. We'll just make sure I got my figures right. 1792. Okay, so it's slightly in profit. Obviously, a bigger profit depending on your position size, but bottom line is, whatever it is, it's a couple of dollars or so in profit. Came down to about 87 at one stage, and slightly lower. Looked pretty good, and then it popped up a bit. I've got a gold app actually, just out of interest, and it's quite interesting. They said they're doing well in their trades, but they're setting $5 TPs and $7, $8 SLs. Now, how does that work? You know what I mean? It's less than 1-to-1 risk reward. But so we fully agree on that. But just again, it's at least it's in profit. I suppose, look at the bright side of that. But I think we're going to have a lot of clucky and LIAs flying at the moment. But if you can, fantastic. Yeah, I suppose you could do a quicker movement. If you're going to do a quicker movement, obviously pick a lower cost one, like a major. Okay, what can I say? Oh yes, there was some US dollar rand. I said this, you know, I mean, to me, it makes no sense to get to the rand and get stronger, because particularly Eskom, and maybe I believe the ANC are giving a bit of a ticking off. They're all right once to give ticking off those guys, eh? Coming on the bandwagon, because it's so above the radar. I mean, everyone's affected by it, so you can't hide Eskom. I mean, some stuff you might like Denel, you might hide it, all the problems there. But things like transport and certain electricity, the whole bloody economy relies on it, whether we like it or not. We're not in the Middle Ages now, and as a result of it, it's this ongoing issue has to be a weakness for the rand, and the ratings like Moody's and S&P ratings companies are all looking to, unless they get it sorted out sharpish, to drop our sort of bond rating down another 2 pips more into junk, which means interest rates will go up for the borrowing money, which means you've got to pay back more clearly, and it'll be difficult to borrow more money. And remember, it's quite a small tax base in this country. The rich obviously play games, you know, and the poor are below the threshold, the margin threshold. And so they can't get enough money from the taxpayer, so they have to borrow to fulfill all these SOE problems they've got. And that has to be paid back. So it's not pretty on the ZAR front. So at least is doing okay. But I had to mention clearly the costs involved are higher. So if you did get in 1710, I think a lot of you didn't bother because the costs, as long as you're aware they are cost higher because it's an exotic. I think I explained that to you before. But if you did, at least you're in profit. 1710, it's now, well, on the bid, it's 1728. So at least it's in profit. No, I'm definitely in. Sorry, it's not the trade. Just a second. Why aren't we in the trading room? Just a second. So Marie, she's quite a great client. So I reply to a great morning. I'm definitely in the trading room. Okay. So yeah, how's welcome back? Good stuff. So what can I say? At least it seems to be. I still think it's surprising that it's not gone right up there by now. I know the dollar's a bit hovering, not weak, a little bit weakish, but it's hovering around 105 or better. So it's kind of strange. Why it's not actually shot the lights out. At least it's in profit. Okay, that's Brent sort of sideways. Gold's a little bit of profit. Yeah, what else we got out at the moment? NZDCHF, that goes back a bit. It's been in there for a while. Is anything happening on that? It's going nowhere. Look at that. It's been there for 2-3 days. It's basically breaking even. Look, it's going nowhere. What else? Euro JPY, and that wasn't mine. That was Jethro's Euro JPY, the 144 sell. I wouldn't pro it, to be honest. And back to square one. It's going nowhere. So very, very frustrating. Nothing you can do about it, guys. I often get called, what am I doing wrong? Trust me, you're not doing anything wrong. The market is just scared of these fundamentals, so it's not really getting going in either direction. That's a tough part. Sorry, it's boring, I know. I hate it, it's like that, but it's completely beyond your control. Okay, so I want to read out the fundamentals. Give me a second, just be aware of it. Today, it's all GBP. GDP for the quarterly in the year on year, manufacturing and all of its GDP coming out, except for one manufacturing. Tomorrow, we've got Governor Bailey speaking, core CPI in the US for the monthly and yearly as well. Again, the pound's coming out with stuff tomorrow as well. And then on Wednesday, we'll go back at the end. I have to remember on, just keep me updated here. And then interest rates on the Fed. Interest rates coming out on Thursday with the Swiss franc. I think some of the euros coming out with something as well. Where the euros coming out with interest rate as well. That's right. That's coming out on Thursday. So it's all bloody go. You know what I mean? CPI as well. Oh yes, we got a holiday on Friday. Don't forget that. Just a second, something went wrong there. Okay. Okay, so there we are. Right, what can I say? The pound's at 9 o'clock, so it came out. GDP was slightly better than forecast, so manufacturing was quite a bit better than forecast, and GDP on the monthly change was just slightly less. Let's have a look at the GBP anyway. What effect did it have on it? Let's give a 15-minute, get more of an idea. Yeah, it jumped around a bit on that. News came up, jumped up. See, this is the problem. Even that's not a direction. What happens there? It goes down, weakens a bit, and then it decides a few minutes later to jump back up again. But I mean, that's not tradable. That's just not tradable at all. No direction. Same sort of principle. Okay, let's look at the NAS because that gives an idea. That's very volatile investment. And even that is not exactly singing, is it? Look at that. So, yeah. I'm be honest with you, I find it very difficult. The only one I came across that really blow my hair back was the Euro AUD. I thought maybe we get a buy out of this one. The stop down here and the TP up there somewhere. But are we getting the follow through? Since the problem, we're not really getting follow through. Look at that red candle, 4 hour. It's not breaking above on the 4 hour. Let's look at the weekly, coming against resistance and not breaking through. And all right, this is only a few hours old this week. Start at the beginning of the week. I get that. Again, indecision. So that's one I had a look at, but to say it can get excited enough to push it through. So look at the CAD JPY. I'm not sure I want to buy it or sell it. It's just going sideways. It's in the sell area, but it's not getting followed through any area. This I had a bit of hope for because I thought the Swiss would be at least fairly reliably stable. And look at Friday's candle and look at today's candle again. So sorry to drag into this sort of doom and gloom, not doom and gloom, boring and etc. But I need your help, guys, basically, because I just see LIA flying off, clack, clack, clack. It's like being in a hen house, all this clacking. Yeah. So yeah. Right. I just want to copy and paste economic calendars like I do every time, just because always some of you guys don't have it. Where's the chat one? There it is. Okay, Maria, just saw that. And Maria, I was in the training room. Yeah. Okay, Nas looks well. Ugly. It's probably unfair. It's more boring than ugly. I think. Yeah, all week exactly, John. FTSE is going down. So look at the FTSE. Not a nice time for you guys to join. Full of the excitement of going in something, can't wait to get going, and you know, and then comes in and there's not much happening. You know, I'm ready to trade, and then not much happening. FTSE. If the FTSE is here, make sure the information's there. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but is that happening at all? Not really going up or down. Look at up sellers, down buyers. Same principle. I'll see it clearer, zoom in a bit. See what I mean? I think chill today, yeah. We got Friday is a holiday. We consider forget which so many of them. And yeah, so we will be doing a trading room on Friday, but it will be probably a fairly short one. The reason being we're going to Christmas. A lot of guys are breaking up, going away around about the 15th because it's Friday being a holiday. Start getting the cars moving down to the coast or wherever they're going. So it might be a little bit quiet. Our last day in the trading room before Christmas is the 21st. That's the Wednesday next week. So I will be around. If I see any trades, I'll post them on the group. But it'll be there, but it'll be thinner volumes. Just okay. Indecision, 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 indecision. Absolutely correct. The boys hang over New York. Yeah, that's true. But yeah. So there we are. What can I say? Okay, so yeah, I don't see it straight there, whichever way. But I said it, just leave it alone. Okay. On this one. Look for a range up there, suppose. 40 pips, is it worth it? We'll stop down here. No. Risk 40 make 40. No. And I'm not so sure I want to be buying this. As I said, I still think it's a sell or rally scenario. And the state's getting closer and closer to admitting to a recession. I mean, I can't tell you how much money this Democratic government has squandered. I don't mean I'm pro-Democrat or against it, I'm not like that. I'm talking about financially squandered, doing what they think is, you know, attractive to voters, but it's not their money. They're spending money that's not theirs. It's borrowed money. So that, you know, that's where the problems come in. And the governments really run the economy like a 10-year-old runs their own pocket money economy. You know, they're just it's like giving them a 10-year-old an unlimited credit card, and they forget they've got to pay it back. It's a shocking mess. It really is. I mean, I was watching some program on it. I think it was over the weekend. The amount of money they're borrowing which is not theirs, and squandering on various things that might be politically sexy, but not really actually achieving much. Okay, so yeah, good evening. Oh, good evening. It feels like the rain outside. Feels like the evening, Fed. No, hey. Look, what can I say? Okay, not sure I can say anything really. I've just gone through it quickly. I haven't got that to do that with pleasure, and you'll help me out because nothing I can really add of value. Just want to do quickly the as I'm doing that, the dollar index, because some people might not have it. Just in case they don't, I'll paste it, copy and paste. Okay, those are two indices that you need to have. Okay, dollar's going nowhere, by the way, the CAD. What do you want to do with this? Looks like a range trade to me. If you do the body, it's only 80 pips. You can get a range trade on that. But to me, it's right in the middle of the range trade. And if you want to sell it down, that's about 60 pips, just under. Yeah, what do you want to do with this? I don't see a trade there. Even a range trade, you can't get it. It's a 1-to-1 or slightly less because risk to reward, yeah. Breaks 136. Yeah, round about there. If it breaks down there, to sell it down, you mean, or to buy it back up again. So I think you probably buy it. Yeah. So it goes back to 136, you probably buy it. That's doable, but not at the moment. I'm assuming you mean buy, but I wouldn't see why you'd sell it, but there's no reason why it's going to break through there at this stage of the game. So yeah, come down 136 and buy it back up again. Yeah, bounce good. The surprise said sell. We're going to make sure. Any knowledge? Okay, well there we are then. Yeah. Well, it could sell if it breaks. Yeah. Don't know what's going to have that. I mean, the only thing that happened with the interest rate is not really expected or something like that. No, I'm not keen for that. Death Cross, Golden Cross is when they cross, but I mean, it's so lagging. I'm not that keen on very short term. Some people like them. I've back tested a few of the time on the shorter term ones, and that's really come up with anything particularly substantial. The longer term ones, no. I mean, rather watch for fundamentals and support resistance, because the lagging is so huge on the 50 crossing 200. There's a golden or a lot of fuss is made about it, but I don't take much notice, to be honest. EuroCAD, I mentioned just now, I'll come back to it again. I'm looking to buy it, actually. I don't know if you want to sell it. I'm looking to buy it, but it's not really blowing. Oh, EuroCAD, so the Euro 80. Coming in now, so just a second, it's pretty good. EuroCAD. It's resistance there. The CAD's a bit weak. I get that. But would I be buying that now? It could happen. It could happen. Am I confident on it? I'm presuming for a buy, but look at this: Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday. No follow through. And if you sell it, there's no follow through either. Sorry, but I don't see it there. It's going to be times when there's not much going on. And if you want to, because you're bored, rather play with your demo than try and get cute. Yeah. Probably better. I mean, it's boring. I get that. Yeah. But I'd rather be bored than jump in and annoy myself afterwards. I think of AUD US. missed something there. CAD, AUD, USD. I think we've got that second. Okay, that's my opinion here, Gerard, on the long-term crossing moving averages. Far too early, Brady. I wouldn't touch that, like I mentioned. AUD, USD. Just write it down before I forget. USD. Want to sell it. Depends what you think's happened with the dollar more than the AUD. As a possible sell. I gambled this weekend for the first time in years, felt more stable than markets last week. CHF is definitely more stable than CAD. The CAD is not really unstable, it's just boring. CAD JPY. You know, you might want to sell it, you might want to buy it. I think your guess is as good as mine at the moment. For a while now, I thought it was a bit oversold. I thought undervalued, and a few buyers might come in. I know the oil's been a bit of a problem with the Canadian being a oil producer, but it's just not going anywhere. What's this range? I've used the body. That's got about 100 pip range, I suppose, but right bang in the center at the moment. It could easily come off, and you would be right. It could easily go up. You know, Ray wants to buy it. Sorry, sell it, and let's say Mike wants to buy it. I don't think you can both be right. I just don't know. It's just there's no indication either direction. CPI tomorrow. Just make sure I got the dates right. Just give me a second there, Isabel. Just tomorrow, isn't it, to make sure. Yeah, we'll do. It'll make a big difference, depending how it comes out. Remember, as I said before, it's all about inflation, massive debt, and interest rates. When the high interest rate, in theory, should strengthen the currency, depending on the interpretation. So yes, it will. If it comes exactly as expected, which is unusual, it might be limiting. But again, I can't say what I think on it and what's likely, because it's just an opinion, and I don't influence anybody on it. Because even if it goes higher or lower, it might have the interpretation we expect. But if it's either side, I personally think if it's a lot higher than expected, you're going to see a radical strengthening of the dollar, because it will go back to coming out at 75%, 0.75% interest rates coming in. Having said that, I think it's probably, Powell, that is, probably made his mind up by now. But who knows? I don't know what's in his mind, but yeah, we'll do. Okay, it will make a difference, depending on what comes out of it. But I keep saying, you know, if it's up, what will have that effect depends on interpretation. In theory, if it's higher, it should be positive of the dollar and bad for the stock market, and vice versa if it's lower. Remember, today, everything's about world inflation. I keep going on about it, but people seem to be not worrying about it. We have a serious worldwide debt problem. No one wants to talk about the tsunami coming our way, except maybe Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan. I'm afraid, I hate to say it, I agree with him. We're sitting on this problem big time. Governments are completely overspent on social services for no other reason but to collect votes. It's the abuse of power is an international problem. Good, but Fed coming the next day won't affect. Yeah, well, it's tomorrow CPI, and then it's Wednesday. You're right, 9 o'clock because of time difference, and then the Q&A afterwards. It'll have some influence. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I'm telling you right now. Let's say it's way over the expectation. I think it's 0.3% expected. Let's say it's about 0.6, way over. Then you might have to make a change and say 75. I don't think he's going to do 101%. It's too big. It'll spook the markets too much. But well, it caused too much problems as well. Guys will have to foreclose on their cars and borrow to the hills on their houses. Too much. So I don't think it'll go 1, but it's going to be 50 or 75, and the CPI will have a major effect. We call it the beige book out of interest. I don't know what trades out of bore you a couple of stuff. What the beige book, and all it's got GDP, PPI, PMC, CPI, inflation figures, jobless figures, all that. It's called the beige book. And the chairman of the Fed, as in what's his name, Jerome Powell, will look through that. And I don't know whether he makes a decision on that day or day before, or he just updates. I don't know, to be honest. But that's what will influence decision. And then, yeah, to go back to that again, absolutely will make a difference, whether it's inflation or not. If it's a lot better than expected, it means that interest rates having the effect on the market, say, might stick with a half. But I don't think it's going to go to 25. I think it'll be 50. Okay. So it's a bit long-winded, but I want to make sure you got the behind it. Because we're all looking for black or white. It's not a lot of greys in there. This comes to interpretation. Okay. We can do this class if you like. This forum, if you like, some Q&As. If some guys want some updating on stuff or they're not sure about. I'm open. If I can't help you, I'm sure one of the guys here will be knowledgeable on it and try and sort of work on that, because don't get cute with the market and the market doesn't know. The big boys don't know where it's going. Just be humble enough to know that pretty sure you don't. Thanks, Isabel. I just want to show you exactly what I mean on this. Get a 15-minute chart. See what I mean? It's popping up and popping down. Is it going to continue? I don't think so. It's going to pop back up probably. Look at Brent. Look at that. Let's go back to gold. See, popping down, popping up. Will it come down again? What's the dollar doing? Let's have a look. Yeah, the dollar's weakened a bit. Will it be sustained? It's very. I actually want. I don't want to exaggerate. One of the most difficult trading period I've had this last 2 weeks. That's why I haven't got many trades out. I'm getting out on Friday. I think I've got maybe one out on Thursday for the guys in my group. I usually get 3, 4, sometimes more out a day. But you won't be too happy. I'm selling just for the sake of it. You're going to lose the brand name. But on that subject, by the way, I put it down again. Roger, just give me a second. I think most of you know. Oh God, look at that. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Put the number down again. Beg your pardon. Mine goes a lot quicker than my single finger typing. Okay, yeah, that's my WhatsApp number. Now, remember, guys, I've got a heck of a lot of traders because I'm the one qualified to look after them. So we need to keep it on the WhatsApp. I can't spend an hour on the phone with everyone. I'd like to, but I just have enough people here. But a dozen guys who can help them advise, yeah. So if you've got 2.5 grand or more and you're not on my QT, you're not a member of my QT group, and you want to be, obviously you don't want to be. It's free, by the way, but you need 2.5 grand minimum or more, obviously. Just let me know. And when you do, please don't say this is Jim. Say it's John Smith, real account number 165232, whatever it is. And then I can quickly check it out. And then I can WhatsApp you with contact details as properly. And then I can then update you to the WhatsApp group. Yeah, I've been jumping around a bit. A few minutes ago, I released the 9 o'clock figures. You see them jump up and down because it maybe it's settling in a bit. Buy, do you? Well, you're a braver man than me. Anyone want to go along with Sean? I'm definitely still on the fence on that. It's just, yeah, leave it alone, yeah. It's going to be the stuck like a stuck record, the LIH, I'm afraid. Yeah, definitely not me. Leave it alone, absolutely. Zev's got some experience. Sean's got some experience. Anna Marie's got some experience. So yeah, they're leaving alone. It's not encouraging to jump in. And a bit of a giveaway in the performance at 9 o'clock opening of that funding. Popped down, popped up again. That doesn't tell you anything. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, like I say, if you're not my group, you want to be a member, £2.5 grand minimum. Just WhatsApp me, I'll update you. No, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. I don't think I'm overestimating you at all. I think you're doing fine. Yeah. If you're making a buck at the moment, you can call yourself doing more than fine, trust me. It's not easy. But we've got some good trades out, I must admit. I think it's pretty good. When I say we, I don't mean I mean we. I mean that on purpose. We've got some good trades out of the TI here. And when it's tough like this, can you imagine it's good? Ah, there's the old Devil Eshcom. Just knocked it off. Hello, Shelly. Your forecast not far from those of Roger and Jethro. Yeah. Yeah, what quick sense does something wrong, but it's not even doing it okay, yeah. Just remember, guys, it's not your fault at the moment. I haven't. The only one I looked at didn't blow my hair back. ZURAUD. I thought there might be possibly some upside there. You know, the stop down here. Maybe a little bit tighter, I don't know. See? And maybe a TP up there somewhere. It's the only one I looked at, but look at that indecision candle. Indecision. And it's not really taken out this. And look at these two here, body here. It's not really enough follow through for me. It's the only one I looked at. I reviewed a couple of trades we're already in, Zeph. They seem to be okay, but again, not much happening. I remember your Euro JPY trade. I've only been in about 3 days. The last I looked about 20 minutes ago was exactly the same. Pop down, pop up. That's the overall market at the moment. All that's telling me, and should be telling you as well, is the big boys can't see it either. That's why it's going nowhere. When it drifts like that, I mean, the lack of direction means the indecision amongst the guys who've got the best brains, the best money, the best computers, the best this, that, and the other. If they can't tell, well, we keep an eye on them. We have to think we can outdo them. They've got the nuclear weapons. We've got the bows and arrows. So we've got to be not going to try and take them on. So rather follow them. No, I'm begging someone to see something I don't. We've had a couple of attempts today. Guys doing their best, but nothing to say we want to jump in on. It's actually second said that Euro JPY come off a bit. So at least that's a bit of a profit. Well done. But yeah, Brent is now coming off. It was up, now it's coming off. Then we've got a punt on this one. $2 stop under $80 TP. I thought might get there actually this morning. Just having a go. But again, Friday's excuse me, Friday's high, act a bit of resistance, come off again. I still think that's going to drift. So yeah, and don't forget there will be a thinner trade. Don't say you can't trade. There'll be thinner trading going into the Christmas. A lot of guys, 15th normally knock off. I know my brother-in-law, he's got his own business and he's closing off on the 15th, and then they're going up to the Kruger. So there'll be a lot of guys leaving on the road, so it should be fairly quiet on Friday. And then going to next week, we've got 3 days in the trading room, but expect to get quiet. But we might find something. Done it before, so might as well join if you're not on holiday. And if you have, take your computer with. As long as you've got Wi-Fi of some sort, you might find something. Okay. Right. So I think unless you find a trade clearly, obviously that takes total precedence. Maybe like a bit of a Q&A, something like that. Look at a couple of things here. I don't know if any newer guys in there are a bit confused about a couple of ideas. Maybe I can help clarify it. As long as you don't ask what the gold price is going to be in half an hour, I don't mind. CAD's a bit weak at the moment. I'm not sure I'll be buying the CAD at the moment. I take your point, but it's still very much in the buy zone. And the AUD isn't that strong either. It just shows a weak Canadian at the moment. There might be a bit of a pullback. Is it enough to make it worthwhile? I would like to take the TP further than there. It's only 40 pips. And it didn't even look at this, even today. It's a few bars that came in there. See what I mean? Let's look at the 4 hour. Look at that. That doesn't blow, that doesn't inspire me. How about 45 minutes? Yeah, how about, okay, about 45 minutes, a 30-minute one. Trying to break through. But again, the buyers might come in. Remember, this is 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock, it popped up. I mean, you're a brave man to me. I don't see a trade there. Oh, and gas. Oh, sorry, gold. I'll do and gas. Just quickly look at it. And gas seems to have recovered a bit. Yes, recovered a bit from those lows. Just get this updated. I still wouldn't join it. Sorry, Anne-Marie, I wouldn't join it. It's just again, it's just when we think it should be going up, it pops down and vice versa. I'm not that confident, gas. I was happy to buy it down there. I think we might have missed it, or nobody was keen to buy it around these levels here when it got down to that level there. The stock would have been obviously below there, so you'd still been in, even though it drifted lower than the buyers come in the last few days. But I wouldn't be joining now. It's a bit of resistance. Honestly, sorry, guys, leave it alone. Gold. Yeah, well, I don't have a problem with that. You're doing all right. I think you are. Anyway, it's not we discuss your account with everybody, but I think you're doing all right. Yeah, gold. Definitely the trend is up. So in theory, you should be long it. I'm not sure we're going to get extend the pullback. Gold is trying to move down. Again, as we know, it depends on the yields. I think up slightly last I looked. No, that's started to come off the last hour or so, which is going to be, unfortunately, positive for gold. DXY is holding 105. So are we going to get any follow through? We think it might start popping up, and then, well, yeah, the DXY strengthens, it pops down again sideways. Unless something drastic happens, anyone in gold on the short, and it's reasonable profit, I think it might be either cut your position, take it, bank it, or at least move your stop up to protect yourself, because the CPI and stuff coming out will affect it. Just be careful of that. And I think Morris is doing quite well, so we'd hate to see that smile turn to a grimace or grimace. Yeah, well, they weren't happy. It was $30 somewhere, $60. It's like an embargo. We're only going to pay using dollars to the oil, so they're making a plan on that. So they're turning around, will sod you, won't sell you oil. That's the case, which could have a positive effect on the oil price. I personally think it's a lot of saber rattling by powerful people with big egos. You know what I'm saying? A lot of politicking and saber rattling and that sort of thing. As you can see from Brent, it's not really had much, despite what they said, had much of those threats. My only worry with Putin, he's a bit cool at the moment. He might do something stupid. But remember, Zelensky, the Ukrainian guy, is not exactly an angel himself. Far from it. Bloody good sales guy, but not exactly an angel. Okay, so yeah, drifting along again. Short NZD might find some here. I looked at them all, and it's quite strong at the moment, and we seem to be continuing to do that. Well, you can see it popped its head above resistance. It's come down and tested it, and as you can see, the buyers are coming in here. You see what I mean? Popped above that resistance on that candle there, came back, tested it, and then the buyers came back in again. So it's looking more like maybe some more upside rather than short it. But either way, I wouldn't be going in now because it seems to be pretty near the ceiling. I'm a bit nervous to jump in now. But to short it down, we've got no follow through. This is the 4 hour. Are we getting enough follow through to make it worthwhile? Anyone like this one? For the record, I'm not keen. I just, it's too much drifting for me. But anyone want to back Neil on this one? Anyone? Any comments? Anna Marie, what do you think? Brady, you've done a couple of trades. You get the idea, as well as some of the others, like Zeph and company. What do you think? Marius, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Does anyone see a short on this? I'm with you on that, clearly, Sean. Anybody see a short on this? If anything, actually, it's more like a buy, but I wouldn't buy at these heights for that more confirmation. And if you did, what's to say this is not going to hold? It's only 35 pips away. Well, whether it's US markets or not, we need to get some action. I agree on it's been strong, but it's not going back to this level here. You're not, look at this area here. Going back to where we now, we're going back to, date chart, 12th of the 9th, September. Yeah, we're talking literally 3 months ago. It hasn't broken above. What makes you think it's going to break above now? And to short it, I don't see much weakness to make me short it either. I just don't think there's going to enough volumes on either side to make that an exciting trade. I think the risk you're taking for the reward is just not worth it. Well, I'm sorry about that, Neo. I think most people are on the LIA basis. That's a sort of trade room express. We'll leave it alone. Okay. Monday morning rain job, isn't it? This raining outside and raining in bloody markets, eh? Leave it alone. That's all. It's not economic jargon. Nothing to do with it. It's just a guy. You might be coming back. Hope he does. A guy called Ayanda Kamal. He used to be a regular here, and he came up with LIA for leave it alone, and it's sort of stuck. It's a trading room comment, really. It's not. If you stay outside the trading and I look at you, what are you talking about? I just spoke to Ayanda, if anyone still remembers him, going way back. Spoke to him actually this weekend, or Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday rather. And he said, you might come back to trade him. I said, please do. Yeah, welcome. Very, very good contributor. But yeah, okay. So even a pound dollar we looked at just now, doesn't seem to be much happening there. Okay, looking for a long walk, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you remember him, Sean? Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, we used to tease each other. Yeah, very clever guy, actually. Where were we? Yeah, okay. So, what can I say? Just care for that gold if you short it, because it's just drifting a little bit. I think we don't be caught the CPI going the wrong way like tomorrow. So keep an eye on it. It's in profit, just be careful. Don't bloody profit turns a loss. You can see my confidence is not that great. Even the CAD JPY is not really getting going either. See what I mean? I'm not particularly inspired with them. Sorry. So as I say, if anybody there, Ernest or somebody there has any questions, you want to know, I'm giving you the poster DXY and the economic calendar. You've all got the position size calculator. You all know to go to get, let's say, left click, right click, go to specification, get all the factors involved in that specific instrument. So you all know how to do that. If you don't, I'll go through it again. True. Well, I don't think it could be politicians interfering on that one. I think the people, if we get better $120, will be interfering with it. I think it'll be up in arms. With higher interest rates, and now they can't afford to go to work because the petrol costs are too high. It gets back up there, there's going to be bloody anarchy is probably a big word. There's going to be a lot of stone throwing, shall we say. He's threatened it, but we should see. As I say, it's more saber rattling with big egos. The more the power, the bigger the egos. Sure. As one lady once said to me, it's the toughest thing you're dealing with a male, is their bloody ego. And he's certainly got one, that is for sure. Now, this one I want to buy as well, but just can't get in the right place. No follow through. That is dangerous saber rattling. That is playing around talking nuclear, because that makes absolutely no sense. By the time he's let one go, the US have got subs out there. They're completely Assad. Whether he's mad or just threatening, or might be mad, or a bit of both. But by the time he's released, the warnings they got today, the NSA technology is beyond belief. So by the time that bloody nuclear leaves the submarine, they'd have pressed the nuclear button themselves on those subs. We don't even know where the hell they are. And that could just about terminate Moscow and Vladivostok and what else they got there. St. Petersburg, or used to be, what's it used to be? Stalingrad or Leningrad or whatever you call them now. No, we could just each submarine has got enough nuclear power to virtually wipe out Russia, which is complete. That's complete nonsense. Whereas World War III will be over in about 5 minutes. The nuclear might of these countries defies belief. As I say, just one. They got several. I don't know they got several on both sides. One could just about take out a continent, pushing it, certainly a country even the size of Russia, in the main city areas. You know, that's a complete Armageddon. That's ridiculous. Well, the thing is, nobody really cares about us. Unfortunately, whether we like to admit it or not, it's always about the money. And you're always, if you don't have the money, then you got to have a nuclear bomb. North Korea doesn't have any money, we got a nuclear bomb, so they become relevant. If you don't have a bomb and you don't have any money, you tend to, whatever they say and the socialists say, unfortunately, people don't take a lot of notice of you. I like the buying it, yeah. Where's the TP? Yeah. If you can get back up to the 200-day, 50-day moving average, with the stop down here, yeah. But my worry is this: for some reason on Friday it came right down here, so I'd be nervous to put a stop above that. So I want my stop here. Now we're talking 1,200 pips, sorry, 120 pips, and then we're going to aim there. It's not going to work. So you'll have to aim there. Even that's not going to work. It's not quite enough. You're going to have to aim there. The comp's going to get there. I don't look at a short, by the way. I totally agree on the buy. Let's get that off on the record right away. I totally agree on the buy, but it's a lack again. Yeah, Friday and today lack of follow through. And my major worry is this wick down here, which suddenly came down here. So only to overcome that problem, we need to stop down there. We might get any tighter than that and slightly below the 10-day. That's my worry. But you can certainly take it to there. That's what you got, same as me. I want that. Where are you going to put your stop? If you're going to put your stop on the 4-hourly, maybe squeeze it there. You might squeeze it. But that's pretty Rambo style trading, that. Yeah. I'll be confident to put that out to the guys. There's a lot of guys out there don't tend to trade them, they tend to rely on me on these trades. So I don't want to send them, something that I'm not confident on. I'm not that confident on it. But if I had to, from a TR punt, I would look at it as a long, yeah. But that is a serious punt. You can do it on the 4-hour. You put a stop down here somewhere. Maybe a 50 pip stop and go back to daily and look at maybe, maybe 75 pip CP. That's a serious punt. I don't encourage guys who are short of funds and can't afford to take that risk. When I say risk, it's all a risk, but hopefully a high probability type of area. That is, to me, is very much a risky punt. Maybe give it a try, no problems there. Just if you normally go with 2, go with 1 sort of thing. Going with 10, go with 5. You get the idea. That's my sort of money. You've been around, and I tell you. But yeah, at least you're aware. You're driving over the limit a little bit there. Speed limit, I'm talking drinking. Speed limit. So just be aware of that. Okay. But I wouldn't encourage guys who are not sure, or I've got limited funds and they're not comfortable taking a punt. If you want to give it a go, just remind me to look into it. Okay, later on, see how it goes. We're still in Brent. It's coming off a bit at the moment. It might hold at 76, who knows? Very difficult to call. Watch this, guys. You're still in gold. I know Johan Murray last I looked. So just keep an eye on it. If it starts coming off a bit more, either cut your position or bank it, or at least modify or do something. Because we don't want to be stuck in it when a major funding comes out for the US. It's not going to be today, but I mean tomorrow. Bear that in mind. I should be honest, going back to what I said about Gavin SA. I go along with the CEO of Quick Trade. Mine always problem, but it's still a pretty good place to live. And I've traveled a bit, and so has he. And he says, yeah, he still says, and I totally agree with him. Spoil the ups and downs, it's still a pretty good place to live. Unless you're starving, no, that's nowhere's good there. I mean, what country, from Joburg perspective, within an hour, you can be in a game lodge in the city. What a pleasure. I don't know how to do business, actually, because there's so many of them. And they're charging 1,500, 2.5 grand per person per night. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money. And even Sun City now, it's about 2-3 grand a night, I think. Especially guys lack of disposable income, quite hectic. Anyway, okay, so cool. Anything else you want to look at? Questions, anything like that? Get some value over the next few minutes. Sorry if I sound my body language not excited. You know me well enough. When it's flying, I mean, it's like you're on some sort of drug high. When it's like this, it's not fun. I don't want to try and encourage anyone to do something silly when it's like this. Of course, Isabel. Yeah, I know. Robots, ADCHF short. Do that first and talk about robots. ADCHF short. Yeah, I'm inclined to the downside with you. again, lack of follow through, because I looked at all of them this morning. That was one I did look at the potential downside. My main area, again, the lack of follow through. Closed up on Friday, opened down today, bounced up a little bit, and the sellers came in. Then they looked. The problem with that is we're looking for a sell. Then a few buyers came in, so it's not really getting follow through. Now we're going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. Back really, we're going back to the whole of last week. That's only 36 pips away. Then you got a couple of pips or so cost. It's all just over 30 pips profit potential of since Monday last week. Is it worth it? You see where I'm coming from? So I agree with a short, but is it worth it? It's like getting the car to drive. There's a traffic jam. It's quicker walking. Come back to one, but I don't see it there. Sorry, Oxy, yeah, that's mainly because your price. I thought it could be a chance for a bounce there. And we agreed on it. We did it. It seemed to make sense. I thought it was going to be a bit of a bounce in oil. But at the moment, give it its due. Is that correct? Make sure the figures are correct there. No, thought so. And I thought bounce off there, and then oil came off, stuffed it up. What is that? What are our stop loss on it? Trying to find it now. A few days. Here we are. Stop loss 62, 62.50. It might have been stopped out. No, you're just in. Just so the oil price goes up a little bit, push it up a bit. Disappointing, but yeah. That's why we have, as you know, a calculator to make sure we're doing everything exposed. So just keep your fingers crossed. You might get a bit of bounce in Brent. Disappointing, really. Still think the trade was right, but that's why you stop loss in case, you know, funny things happen. Not you were wrong. No, funny things happen. Big difference. Yeah. Okay, robots. Right. First of all, obviously depends whether you've got an account worthwhile taking on the cost, time, and effort of a robot. And they work obviously not on brains. They work on the fed mathematical algorithms on shorter term indicators. Could be a MACD, could be short term exponential moving averages, stuff like that. Okay, and it tends to follow a trend on an indicator. And the problem is it comes off a bit. A lot of them are programmed to buy a bit more. So in other words, let's say you're going to sell this one free. Well, let's take something else. Well, and each one usually is programmed to a specific instrument. Like one might be the gold, one might be the Nasdaq, one might be to euro dollar, depending. So you often have to have 2 or 3 robots. Not one robot covers all, if you like. That's another one that doesn't make it too attractive. The other one is it can't sync. It does not know a CPI is coming out. It does not know that the interest rate decision is coming out. So it'll do something like gold. The popular one's gold. Okay, let's say you're buying it for whatever reason. You bought it there. It's coming back a bit. What it'll do will add to the position. So you've got to have enough money in your account for the drawdown to add to it until it goes to a certain stage when indicators say it's oversold or its direction is down, and then you'll take a loss on it if you like. But I know some people had some success with it, but all of them had enough money to be able to afford the drawdown and the cost of the robot. You might get it for free, I don't know. I've never ever used one, to be honest. But I know some companies do give it for free if you want to join it, and some companies charge for it, depending. But you don't have the drawdown specific worthwhile if you've got something less than about 15,000, 20,000 rand. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of guys, in my opinion, it's not too kosher. We're selling robots to guys 1 or 2 grand because the guys didn't know what I just told them. You know what I mean? And that's not so good, you know, because they don't have enough money to even, they can't generate an income for the robot anyway, because they haven't got enough balance to do it, and they can't afford the drawdown. But that's it. I've never used it, but as I say, don't forget, it can't think. It might in the next few years, the way technology is going, but at the moment it doesn't know. So you might say, indicators are right to go to gold now, just before CPI in the States comes out, it could give you a bit of a nod. We don't have them on here anyway, but I mean, if you wanted to, if you like the idea, right, it's free world. You're going to have to be on YouTube and live your life. You can go and get somewhere where they do have them if you want, but just there are limitations on it. But I have heard some people say we've been successful in it. think Jethro's not here at the moment. He seems that it's working okay for him. If I have to use a robot, I'd be a bit skeptical on that. Think, what the hell am I being paid and all these exams to advise? I'm supposed to know about fundamentals and technicals to go and have to use a robot that belays a human being. You know what I mean? Why would I do that? But anyway, I haven't, so I don't know. But remember, always remember, there's no holy grail in this business. You've always got to accept there's goods and bad with all of it. Hope that answers your question, Isabel. That's my objective thing. Remember, I'm not trying to sell it to you. So that's my objective area. I'm not negative or positive. I'm just saying it as it is. It's got pros and cons. You go to someone to buy a robot, clearly you're going to get all the positives. Common sense is a lot better, yeah. A heck of a lot better. Remember, I'm trying to advise for your good and make you aware of it. I'm not trying to advise you to buy my robot. I always find that quite interesting. If it's so good, why am I selling it? Why am I just using it? Yeah. Well, I'm making money for the sell the robot. Just chucks out a couple of questions, you know. Yeah. But if you want to investigate further, you can do. We don't have them here. That might change in the future. We don't have at the moment. Like Bitcoin. The trouble with Bitcoin is there's no regulations at the moment. So there's no recourse if something goes wrong. There's no ombudsman or FSCA to protect you. That's the reason why we don't have it. But that might change like everything else. Okay. So we're drifting around a bit. Sorry, guys, it's tough this, but I mean, do you want? I don't mind spending the next half an hour chatting about stuff that might be of value, but I feel I'm rambling a little bit here because I can't come anything you don't already know, nothing basically new, and the market's not really giving me feedback to even think of trying to make a buck out of the moment. Unless something radically changes, I hope so. Maybe get a share out later on in the group, my WhatsApp group, but sure, I certainly haven't found one to put out in the world. Get a lot of guys coming in. Where are my signals? Well, send them pleasure if you want, but are they any good or not? You know, clearly if there isn't one, we won't send it. Well, I won't anyway. Yeah, we're going to punt on that one, like I say, Mike. Yeah, nothing's so pretty now. Where's our stop on it? 74.67. Get stopped out now. I'm going to punt on it. We bought it at 76.60. Stopped 74.67. TP 80. It's come off a bit, but will it rise again on that area there? Yeah, well, could do. Seems to be held on Friday. Might hold again today. Possibly bounce through here, yeah. Let's put it on a slightly. That's not going to work. I have to go to the weekly for a bit more information. No, that's not going to work either. Yeah, stop down here somewhere. A $2 stop if you're not in. We've already got. Don't change your stops, guys. You're already in it. If you want to punt on that one as a possibility, I still think it's going to bounce. Maybe do a tight stop, maybe $2 below that, and you can also aim at 80 if you want to do it. Put it up if you want. About $35 a micro, so if I'm rightly. It's slightly different because you're getting a slightly better price or worse price. 85. What the hell? I'll do 80. 35 bucks a micro, 34 and a micro. Yeah. Do you want to do that, Mike? But be circumspect on your volumes. It's a very funny market at the moment. And even Zeph, and this is left us a bit quiet. So if you can't find anything, I'm not sure, you know. Even you can't find it. Hey, Zeph. Hey, you must be pissed off the football, hey? Portugal getting kicked out by a small country like bloody Morocco, eh? That was a turn up for the book. That would annoy me, actually, and never mind for patriotic purposes. All these multi-million-dollar stars you got there be beaten by a Morocco. I mean, you know, you guys must have spent all this money on. I think we're probably closing up just now anyway, guys. So I don't really miss much. There's not much happening. Probably just as well, eh? We missed the football until that. Not good for Brazil, not good for the Portuguese-speaking countries, eh? Croatia taking out Brazil. God, that must have been heartbreaking. Anyway, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So yeah, what can I say? I've run out of stuff, guys. Should we have a look again, see if we get some more action this afternoon? It might be a bit difficult this week. There's fundies coming out, but we can try. Just stick with me and don't give up. We might find a beaut. Let's just hope so. Anybody else? Any new guys? Vedna, Wandy, any Paul Schiffer? I know you're not new, but I mean, anything you want to look at? Oh, good question, Vedna. Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Zeph. Yeah, very much so. I mean, the last trading day is the 21st, and we close shop until the 9th of January, if I remember rightly. But when the markets are open, I'll be around. If I see a signal, I'll post it. Yeah. Oh, fine, no problem at all. Give yourself a break here. I've been doing it for such a long time now, it's become like changing gear, but you'll get there. But yeah, I'll be around online. Good. Thank you for your support there. They did play well. It wasn't that the Portugal were terrible. I think Morocco played extremely well. Okay, guy, we don't really have much at the moment. I think we just move on and try and catch this afternoon. Okay, sorry it's been a bit of a boring trading session, but blame the bloody markets. Cheers, guys. See you later. Thanks to everyone. Thanks for your support anyway. Thanks for your patience with me in this rather unexciting market. Thanks, guys.